We know movement's good for us. We also know that community is good for us. So what happens when you combine the two? Something that is greater than the sum of its parts. Today, I want to talk about one of the most underutilized health strategies available to us, and it doesn't require a gym membership or a perfect schedule. It just requires showing up with other people. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. Here's the reality for a lot of midlife women. Movement is something they know they should be doing more of, but consistently struggling to prioritize. And community, genuine, regular, face-to-face connection is something that has quietly eroded over the years as life got busier and more complicated. These are two of the most significant health challenges that I see a lot of my clients facing. And the great news is that they have a shared solution. We've talked a lot this month about what the research shows regarding community and connection as we age. We've also talked a lot about what the research shows in terms of how movement and exercise helps us to age. We've also explored how loneliness accelerates cognitive decline, increases mortality risk, and quietly erodes our health in ways that are just as serious as any physical disease. All that research is compelling and sobering. But what strikes me is how rarely we talk about movement as a vehicle for solving the connection problem. The connection as a vehicle for solving the movement problem. They're not separate. They can be the same practice. You're stacking two very important nutrients together, movement and community. And there's something really deeply human about moving in community, right? It predates gyms and fitness trackers and wellness culture by thousands of years. We've hunted together, farmed together, danced together, walked together. Movement has always been social. And the research reflects that. People who exercise with others consistently show up more often, work harder, and stick to their habits longer than people who exercise alone. Accountability, encouragement, shared energy. These are not soft benefits. They are the difference between a habit that lasts and one that's just fleeting. But also beyond the accountability piece, there's something else. When you move with other people, the movement itself becomes enjoyable in a way that it isn't alone. The effort feels lighter, the time passes faster. You leave feeling not just physically better, but emotionally replenished. You feel healthier, cell to soul. That combination, the physical benefit plus social nourishment, it's extraordinarily hard to replicate any other way. So I want to be clear that moving in community does not mean that you have to go out and sign up for a CrossFit membership or some other group fitness class. Although those are great options too, if they appeal to you, all the more power to you. But it could look like a weekly pickleball game with a rotating cast of people that you have just genuinely come to care about. It could look like a hiking group that meets up on Sunday mornings. A dance class where you show up every Tuesday and recognize some of the faces in the room. It could look like a walking buddy you meet up with 3 times a week, rain or shine. A yoga studio where you've become a regular and the community has become a part of why you go. I think this is one of the big reasons I have always been such a fan of the dance world, because it's been my way of connecting with community through movement. But the form of movement that you choose is almost irrelevant. What matters is that you're moving your body and building connection at the same time. That's the practice. And of course, a lot of my clients will sort of push back and say, I don't have time, right? When we're talking about exercise or being more socially engaged or both. And I get it, right? Life is really full, especially at midlife. We've talked about that a lot on this show. But often we think of social time and exercise time as two separate lines on an already overcrowded schedule. But what if they're just the same line, right? What if you put them on the same line at the same time? A walk with a friend is not instead of your workout. It could be your workout. The dance class is not instead of your social life. It is your social life. When you stop treating them as competing demands and start seeing them as one integrated practice, the time problem kind of solves itself. We're not meant to be healthy alone. And really, what would be the point of being healthy alone? Right? We're not here to do this alone, this journey of life. We're here to do it with other people. The village we talked about earlier this month, right? I talked about the village that it takes to keep an adult healthy. The one that keeps us healthy in a way that nourishes what I call that deep health state. That village is built by one shared experience at a time. So what might that look like for you? Who might be your people? What might be the ways that you want to move in community with people? That's not just a fitness strategy, that's a life strategy. And it is so worth pursuing. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.